Shout out to the spiritual whistleblower. I love her. By the way, I just want to know that she's like always inspirational to me more than anything. And I'm trying not to curse lately, so the cursing kind of disturbed my spirit a little bit, only because I'm trying to stop cursing. But I still like it. I still like her very much. But because I'm trying hard. It's so hard to stop cursing. I don't know why. I think that in order for me to stop cursing, I would have to stop speaking Ebonics altogether. Like I would literally have to stop speaking slang altogether. Like I would have to just speak normally in order for me to stop cursing. But if I speak any kind of slang or a little bit, whatever, I'm gonna still be cussing. And I'm trying my best to stop cussing altogether. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think that see when I be getting down, when I be talking about narcissists, I talk about the things about narcissists that people don't talk about when it comes to narcissists. And I think that when it comes to narcissism, they love to triangulate you. These individuals, child, a lot of times I just be feeling like because they come from, sometimes I just get so angry at them and I just want to, cuss them out. And then a lot, and then I remember, but then me as a Christian, I always have that Christian switch of being like my Savior, trying to love everybody, trying to give everybody grace. And like I said, most of the time, people that are narcissists are people that went through things that were very traumatic as children. And when you're a child, you can't really do anything to really help yourself, So I always just try to say, that the narcissistic people that are in my life, where I'm at with it right now, I'm in a more of a, we gonna pray about it. We gonna pray for them. We gonna pray about it. I'm in a pray for your enemies kind of vibe. Took me a minute to get here. It took me a minute to get here. But prayer works, people. And you can pray. The thing about prayer is, yeah, but prayer works. So that's where I'm at with it right now. I don't want to sit here and go back and forth with people. I don't want to try to force people to do anything that they don't want to do. Because I can't, I'm not the most high. That's for him to do. He's going to change people's heart, minds, and emotions. Not me, But when it comes to, and I just don't feel like being negative. I don't know, it's because I'm pregnant. And, I just don't want that bad energy around me. I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant with a girl. And, I'm not carrying around a whole bunch of testosterone this time around. So I'm not really in the war against wills type of vibe right now. I'm more in the, we're going to pray about it. We're going to see what happens for everybody, for the children, for the cousins, for the sisters, for the brothers, for the mother, for the baby father, even for the baby fathers. We're going to pray for them too, because they need Jesus too, We just going to vibe out, and we going to pray. We're going to go to church, and we're going to pray for them. No, I'm just kidding. We'll stay on Friday after next. I'm going to go to church, and I'm going to pray for y'all. See, it'd be so hard for me to stop doing stuff like that, because little weird stuff like that is so embedded in me. Jeez, like I must use all movie quotes whenever they apply. What's wrong with me? Anyway, so I think the main thing about being a narcissist is triangulation. They're big on triangulation for several different reasons. And I think the triangulation is important for them because of the fact that people always want something more when they feel like they can't really have it or they can't have access to it. So that's the reason why narcissists try to keep you triangulated with somebody else because they always want you to feel like they're competing with you. That you're competing for them, or that you're in a constant competition for them. The thing about being with a narcissist, and the best way to know that you're with the narcissist or the person that you're with is a narcissist, is you never really feel like you never really feel like you all the way have them. You never really feel like you all the way have them. You never really feel comfortable in your relationship. You don't never really feel like you're comfortable in your relationship. You always feel like there's somebody else. You always feel like you can be replaced. You always feel like you just trying out, or like you on a trial basis with them. That's how it feels to be with a narcissist. You just always feel like you on a trial basis. And because they make you feel like that, because they bring up their exes all the time. That's why I said be wary of men who bring up their exes all the time. Even men who complain about their exes. Be wary of women too, who just always bringing up their ex, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. If they spend too much time talking about their ex, they're probably more than likely a narcissist, because they just always want that person to be in the back of your mind. So they want you to think, well, even if you forgot, even if you got comfortable, this person is always an option for me, or this person is always an option for me to go back to, so don't never get too comfortable. They don't want you to get too comfortable in relationships with them, That's the thing about narcissists. So another thing about them is they like to compare you to their ex, even though, she couldn't be that great, because why y'all broke up? But that's you as a person with common sense. You kind of like, well, if she was that awesome and she was that amazing, then why are you over here? If she was all that in a bag of snacks, then why are you here? Like Monica said, want you to come back, but I gotta know. Thought she was all that. Nigga, why is you at my door? I love that Monica song. You wanna come back, but I gotta know. Thought she was all that. Nigga, why is you at my door? Anyway, but yeah, so she, but you're not thinking like that. Everybody's first instinct is to compete. Compete, because that's the way we was raised in this country. America is a very competitive country. We spend our formative years competing in some kind of way, form of fashion. In elementary school, we had to run relay races. We had field day. We had spelling bees. We had track and field. We always was competing. Some of us played sports as little kids. We did little league football. We did soccer. This country was based off competition, because this country is very much built like Rome and Athens, Greece, and they'll put the gladiators in the middle and make them fight to the death, when in reality all that is a distraction to keep you from really paying attention to what the government is doing, because you can't pay attention to what the government is doing if you're too busy trying to compete. Compete. And we live in a capitalistic society where, in a capitalistic society, you have the losers, you have the winners, the rich people, and then you have the losers, the people that live in poverty. And in order for you to keep a capitalist country going, you have to keep it competitive, And that's the reason why sometimes people try to sit there and try to figure out, oh, well, what can we do for the poor? The people are never going to do too much for the poor, because this is a capitalistic society. In order for there to be winners, they have to be losers. Somebody got to lose. Somebody got to bite the dust, So because of that, because we were raised on competition, and most of us were raised by narcissists who kept us competing against our siblings for attention, and they had a golden child, and they had a child that they liked more than all the rest of us, and they treated them with more attention, and you felt like you had to compete for your parents' attention. So we were always in competition mode. So when somebody puts you in competition mode, you don't really sit there and think to yourself, well, if this person is so awesome, then why are you in my face? Your first instinct is, I must compete. I must rise to the occasion. I must be better. I must show this person that I'm better than their ex, you know? And that's how they keep you triangulated. So you're so busy trying to be better than a past person that you can't even really pay attention to all the underhanded weirdo that this person is doing on the back end, because you're just so busy trying to live up to their expectations. When in reality, you shouldn't even be worried about their expectations. You should be worried about your expectations, you know? And that's how you miss the red flags and things like that, because you find yourself trying to meet their standards. You forgot to figure out if they even met your standards. You know, people will throw you off like that. You're so busy trying to figure out, well, I'm just trying to meet their standards. I'm just trying to compete. I'm just trying to be better than the last girl. And then you forgot to sit there and really figure out if you even like this person, if this person was even good enough for you, if this person even met your standards or your expectations, to be all the way honest with you. So they like to keep you triangulated. They'll keep you, and sometimes they won't even always keep you triangulated with their ex. They'll keep you triangulated with their mom. Well, my mom did this, my mom did that. When it comes to the raising of your children, well, she was like this with us, she was like this with that, she did this with that. She fed us at this time, we ate this, we did that. They'll keep you triangulated with the lady at their job. They'll keep you triangulated with their boss. They'll keep you triangulated with their job in general. They'll keep you triangulated with any damn thing. They'll keep you triangulated with their celebrity crush, the person who they crush on TV, who they probably more than likely ain't never gonna meet. But they'll keep you triangulated, and they'll keep you competing with some damn body. And when you're with a narcissist, you're always going to find yourself competing with them, with somebody for their attention, whether it be their mother, whether it be their cousin, whether it be their family member, whether it be their ex, whether it be their friend of the opposite sex. It's going to be somebody. It could be their friend of the same sex. You're going to always find yourself trying to boggle for their attention or trying to meet these expectations. And then the funny thing about it is, once you meet their expectations, they're going to make up some new expectations for you to meet. It's never going to be good enough. You're always going to be trying to meet the mark when it comes to them. And then you're going to figure out one day, hopefully you'll come to the conclusion where it's like, hold on, he don't even really meet my expectations. I don't even really care for this like that. He's full of red flags, He don't do any of the stuff that he say that he do. He don't practice what he preach. He's a hypocrite. That's what they are. That's another thing. They are fully loaded hypocrites. They put that capital H. They put the capital H in hypocrite, okay? When that song say Pratt, what Barry White say? People don't talk about Barry White enough. Darn, they don't talk about Barry White at all. Barry White just died and that was it, okay? Let's not try to act like Barry White ain't give us some hits, okay? Because I feel like for a little long time, people weren't talking about Luther at all, neither. It's like, hold on, let's not act like Luther wasn't the male version of Whitney, okay? Give Luther his propers, okay? Give Barry his too, all right? Anyway, like Barry White said, practice what you preach. They ain't practicing nothing what they preach. They talk one way and they live a completely different way, okay? They talk one way and live the complete opposite. Nothing about them says they do what they say they gonna do. They put the H in hypocrite. Anyhow, very hypocritical people. But yeah, so you start realizing this person he's not even really meeting my expectations, but he got you running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Because they gonna have, that's how you know you're with a narcissistic person. If you feel like you just can't do anything, if you're confused, if you're unfocused, if you feel like you just constantly running, they will have you running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to keep up with them, trying to meet their expectations, trying to satisfy them. Most empathic people are easy to please. Like for me, for instance, I'm easy to please. You know, it don't take much for me to have a good day. It don't take much for me to have a good life. You know, I'm not even the kind of person who want a lot of money. I just want to be able to take care of my needs and provide for myself without struggling. You know, I don't need to be mega rich. I just need to be able to make ends meet each month without struggling. That's good enough for me. You know, I'm simple. I'm easy to please. Most empathic people are, but narcissistic people are clingy, they're hypocritical, and they're needy. They need a lot. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to satisfy them, you know, because they just got a lot going on. And a lot of their needs weren't met when they were children, so they do a lot of trying to make up for that in adulthood, you know. But that's why every time I tell people, take care of your children, yo. Because if not, you're gonna turn them into some kind of adult. So anyway, back to this triangulation thing. Let's not get off tilter. But not only do they triangulate you with their ex, mother, boss, lady at their job, man at their job, whoever they can find to triangulate you with, but they triangulate themselves. Now this is something that we don't talk about. We don't talk about how they triangulate themselves, which means that you can tell them about your ex. And women, be careful when you get into these relationships. Men too, because women are narcissistic too, and I think that we just really underestimate how much. I mean, we got some narcissistic women, so many narcissistic women. I mean, so many narcissistic women. Believe me, I know, because I've had a lot of girlfriends growing up. I mean, friends that are girls, and most of them were narcissistic or narcissists. Believe me, there are very, very, very many narcissistic women, and there's a lot of narcissistic women that are sociopaths. A lot of sociopathic women. Let men be just as careful as women when you meet these women. Okay? And so like I was saying, they'll triangulate themselves with people in your life. And they'll compete with people in your life. They'll compete with your mom. If you have a good relationship with your mom, they'll compete with your mom. You're just like, oh, what? That don't make any sense. If you hated your ex, they don't even. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes men, women, when you get with men, and you think to yourself, oh well, you know, my ex did this to me, my ex did that to me, my ex did this to me, my ex did that to me, and you'll think to yourself, okay, well, he not gonna do that to me because he's seen how much it hurt me when it came to my ex. Wrong. Opposite. He's going to triangulate himself with your ex. And now he wants to be just like your ex. He's going to mirror you, and he's going to mirror your ex. He's going to mirror your ex's behavior as well as mirroring your behavior at the same time. I mean, when I tell you, these people are diabolical. And there'll be these people that be like, well, I just told you that my ex did this to me. My ex did that to me. He hurt me in this way. He hurt me in that way. And why would you go and do the same thing that he did to me again after I told you how much it hurt me the first time? Because they're gonna mirror their behavior after yours, and they're gonna mirror their behavior after your ex as well. Not only will they mirror you, but they'll mirror your ex too. I've been in relationships where I've had men try to mirror my father. They've tried to mirror my father. They'll meet my dad, and I'll go on and I'll tell them, yeah, my parents been married for years. They were able to keep their relationship together for like almost 40 years. Da 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 da. And they'll go from acting like themselves to they'll come over to my house. They'll see what kind of man my dad is, and they'll probably say to themselves, oh, well, obviously she want me to act like her dad. And then before you know it, they'll start mirroring my dad. But then you got to remember that these men also didn't have any fatherly figures. They didn't. A lot of them didn't grow up with dads themselves, so they don't really know how to be a man for real. So they pick up bits and pieces from the men that they meet throughout life, and that shapes their behavior in relationships and as a man and in a whole. So they say, oh well, okay, she loves her dad, so I'm gonna just mirror his behavior. And it's like, honey, I love my dad, but I don't want to date him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to date my dad. They'll mirror your mom's. They'll mirror your mom's behavior. They'll mirror your sister's behavior. They'll mirror your brother's behavior. This is real stuff. They'll mirror anybody around you behavior because they're trying to compete with them for your attention and your love and affection. And usually they don't want you to be, they don't want you to love or pay attention to or care about anybody but them. Because a lot of times when you meet narcissists, they try to move you out of your state, out of your city, out of your neighborhood. They'll try to have you start a problem with your family members. They want to keep you all to themselves, so that way they can go do dirtbag shit to you without any witnesses. When you get with narcissistic people, you will find yourself losing your relationship with your parents, losing your relationship with your dad, losing your relationship with your mom, losing relationships with your sisters and brothers, losing relationships with your family members. And then they'll try to take you out of the state, or they'll try to take you out of the city, or they'll try to take you out of your neighborhood. They'll try to move you somewhere else different because they don't want anybody to bear witness to how they about to get ready to treat you, which is straight up foul. Either everything is one way or another with them. Either they're gonna be team your mom, team your dad, team your sister or brother, to the point where they're gonna be so obsessed with them that it's gonna be creepy, and they can't do any wrong. So you'll come to them and tell them, "My mom got on my nerves," and and they'll just be like, "Well, that's your mom," and they'll always side with your mother, always side with your father. Always side with your sister, you know? Or it'll be the complete opposite where they're trying to get you away from them. But it's always extreme. You know, it's never balanced. Like I was saying in the first video about narcissists, their thinking is never balanced, you know? They can't just weigh out the scales. It's always either it's one very extreme behavior or another very extreme behavior. Either they want you to be obsessed with the family, or they want you to hate your family, but they don't know how to live in that middle part. They don't have a middle part. They don't have any balanced way of thinking. Either they're going to want to be up under your parents all the time, up under your family all the time, and they're going to come off as very family oriented when in reality they're just crazy as hell. Or they're going to want you to get far, far away from your family. Stay away from them. Don't talk to them. Don't be bothered with them. But they're not going to be able to help you with that middle ground, you know, because they don't have no middle ground. These people are really, but like I told you, they'll triangulate, they'll compete with your ex, and your ex is not even here anymore, you know. But if you tell them your ex took you here, took you there, they're going to try to one up him or take you to the same place, or it's always something weird. I had an ex-boyfriend he's my ex now. He tried to treat me exactly how my ex-boyfriend did. And then when I wouldn't let him, it was just like, "Oh, well, you let him do this and you let him do that." And it was like, okay, that's why I'm not with him anymore, because that was stupid. But that don't mean that you get the right to come around and do the same thing he did. You know? And I'm talking about they'll compete with your ex to the point where they'll start mirroring them. They'll find your ex-boyfriend on Facebook. They'll start dressing like your ex-boyfriend. They'll get their hair like your ex-boyfriend. They'll try to drive the same car as your ex-boyfriend. They'll try to go to the same places that your ex-boyfriend frequent. They'll join his gym. It gets really Cause we get really single white female. You ever seen single white female? Anybody ever seen that movie Single White Female? And they kind of made it again when they made that movie Roommate. Anybody ever seen Roommate? Where the girl she started mirroring her roommate to the point where she tattooed her dead sister's name on her body. I mean, the sister tattooed the sister's name on her body because her sister died, and then the roommate got a tattoo of her sister's name too. Like, but she just met her. She never even knew the sister. She didn't even meet the sister. The sister was dead before the girl even became roommates with the girl. She was just mirroring her to that extent. Like, it was just that crazy. It was obsessive. It's very obsessive. They're very, because they don't have any personality of their own. They don't have any natural vibes. They don't have any natural. That's the reason why they're always biting off of you, because they can't be creative. They can't come up with their own stuff because they're not real. And it's hard. It's horrible to say it, but they're definitely like Revenge of the Body Snatchers. It's like they're here, but somebody else is in the seat. It's crazy, man. It's scary. But like I said, at this point in time, I do feel like the God can fix all things, including these individuals. But in the meantime, they definitely seeds of Satan. Like, we got to pray. Pray for the enemies, because it's not them. It's the spirits working within them. So you got to rebuke them spirits, honey, and just pray these people get delivered. And that's the vibe that I'm on now. I'm just trying to pray for the world, trying to pray for thine enemies, or at least pray for the people in my family who I feel like suffer from this disorder. And I don't really care too much about nobody else, but the people in my family that I know I gotta be bothered with, definitely putting them high up on the prayer list, honey, because they need Jesus.